back for the second half now, and the boys are waiting for us, led by Bill Arthur.
And they're ready to get the second half underway here. And Saints will be playing into this bright evening sunshine here at Langtree Park. And you wouldn't bet against. We've seen what you can do from 5th place in the table. We know what you can do. Leeds have proved that. And Saints really putting down a marker in the first 40 minutes here. Some will say it's hard to judge against this Hull Kingston Rovers side, missing so many players. But it's been a very thorough job. Apart from maybe the opening 10 minutes, it has been dominated by this Saints side. And Hull Kingston Rovers have got an almighty job in the second half to try and salvage this now.
Well, they have, because Saints look up for it. They're in the mood. They're fast. They're lethal. Whenever they get a sniff and a chance, they look like they're going to score. If Saints do go on to win this game, the beauty of finishing in 5th is you're always playing a losing team. Good yards there from Lovegrove.
And it'll be Leeds, I think, awaiting the winners of this one. Season over for the losers. That's the 5th tackle. As Griffin plays the ball, and Dobson hoists that ball, and it's a good kick. Chase from Hall, and the ball's still loose, and it's Melly, I think, who picks it up.
Well, it is bright in that right-hand side. Saints and Johnny Lomax in particular losing that ball as it was kicked up. It was a good kick from Dobson, and nobody got anywhere near it.
But I'm interested to see what their attitude of Hull KR is like in the second half. 30 points behind on the scoreboard. I'm sure at the beginning of the year they set the goals for getting into the top 8, but when you get in the top 8, you've got to make sure you perform. And in that first half, they just didn't perform.
But you'd hope when you get to that stage of the season that you're getting players back, like a lot of the rivals around them have, like Saints have, Roby back, people like that. Other sides have got players coming back. Hull Kingston Rovers, to be fair, are losing players right on the eve of the game.
Hull FC won last night with 2 members of the Dream Team absent, Tom Lynham and Ben Crooks, and Mark O'Mealy has announced his retirement. So they were able to go on and beat the Catalan Dragons, short of 3 players who would definitely be in their starting lineup.
But you'd have fancied the Catalan Dragons to win that one. They were a major letdown, I thought, on the occasion. Really haven't fulfilled their potential this season, the Catalan Dragons. Well, Rod Studd is down on the sidelines. It's a busy evening so far. Let's catch up with that from Rod.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, no problems, of course, with the way things are going as far as the scoreboard is concerned for St Helens, and Nathan Brown just wanted them to stick to the process and get the game plan finished off for the next 37 minutes or so. But 1 or 2 injury problems that we saw in the first half. Johnny Lomax with that hamstring niggle that he's still running off out there, and it'd be interesting to see if Nathan Brown keeps him on for the full 80 minutes. He can certainly put him in some cotton wool and rest him for what looks like a tie at Leeds next weekend. And Alex Walmsley took a little bit of a bang and is currently on the bench as well. As far as Hull KR are concerned, no problems with injuries, but the problem is that scoreboard showing 4-34 against them, and well, they're in the last chance saloon, aren't they? And last orders are going to be called in 37 minutes. The one piece of armour they've got, as you mentioned, Bill, was the sunshine that's glaring into the face of the St Helens players. So the one weapon the Hull KR really have got is the high bomb that will be difficult to take in this sun.
Here goes Roby up the middle of the field, runs into the tackle of Mickey Payer, and eventually is finished off. Wilkin chips over the top, turning Alex Brown round. It's a good kick from John Wilkin, and Brown will have to retrieve that right on his own try line, and then runs it back towards Melly and Swift. Melly deals with him.
Well, a good kick from Wilkin into the corner. He gets rid of Swift, but still his teammates coming up really quick to take him to ground.
Dobson throws a long ball out wide to Wellham, and Wellham, well, Hodgson was up in support. Wellham couldn't get the ball to him. Dobson. Cox, good strong run from Jordan Cox, takes him over the halfway line. That's the 5th tackle though. Here goes Hodgson. Hodgson chips the ball ahead, will chase it. The Saints are able to come back and gather the ball.
A little bit messy on the last tackle from Josh Hodgson. Just dinked the ball 10, 12 metres at best. Willie Manu had enough about him. tell you a little bit about St Helens as well. 34 points to the good they are. This game could effectively, in their minds, be over. What will their mindset tell us in the next 40, 30-odd minutes?
Roby. Well, they will want to look as mean as they can ahead of the next leg of the playoffs. They, though, downtown.
Well, St Helens been caught in an offside position.
He's saying that the player that pushed up in support is a sleeper. In other words, he got in the way Johnny Lomax of the marker of the Hull KR defence.
Useful penalty for Hull Kingston Rovers to run this ball down. They haven't really been able to threaten this Saints try line for some considerable time. They might do so now. They will do so with Chris Whelan. The referee says, I want to have a look at that, or I want the video ref to have a look at it.
Possible obstruction, Ben. Tackle one.
Obstruction is the call.
Possible obstruction.
Well, Saints players waving their arms around, so they're not happy with something. Let's have a look. First runner, Payer goes through, nothing wrong with that. There's the collision. Is it Griffin?
Graham Horn.
I think it's James Green who collides.
I think that's a try.
There's no problem. It's the wrong read in defence, isn't it?
Yeah, just tell me, boys, as a player, an ex-player, you look at that, you think, what's your first reaction, try or no try?
That's a try. You can see there. There's another one. Is it John Wilkin?
Yeah, John Wilkin.
John Wilkin's
that's a bad defensive read.
Of course it is. He's took the wrong man. He's more interested in the dummy runner than he is what's going on the back.
I'm with you in regards to the fact, but this might go against us.
21 days to go until the grand final at Old Trafford. No try is the decision. Chris Whelan denied a try that would have given Hull Kingston Rovers a lift early on in the second half.
I don't get it, Bill. If John Wilkin's the man who's at fault here, he's the one who chooses to go in and defend against the oncoming dummy runner. Just have a little look. He shoots in. He's got it wrong.
That's a try. That's a try. That's a rugby league try.
Well, there's a reminder, if Saints needed one, that they can't afford to coast. They can't drop the gears into neutral and just get through this game.
Rovers obviously feeling hard done by. A bit of sting in these recent tackles in this set of 6. John Wilkin, once of Hull Kingston Rovers, made his Hull Kingston Rovers debut, in actual fact, back in 2000 against the Sheffield Eagles at Don Valley Stadium. Don Valley Stadium no more. And Sheffield Eagles without a home, in actual fact, which is a very sad story for the city of Sheffield. John Wilkin, though, is now very much part of the furniture here at St Helens. The Players' Player of the Year, John Wilkin, this season.
And he's had to do it in a number of different positions as well. Hooker at times, standoff at times, scrum half, second row, loose forward. His versatility has been invaluable for Saints this year.
And he's played a number of those roles in the same game.
You're right. Mr. Versatile. Here's Josh Hodgson. That's a good run from Hodgson. Caught Saints napping there.
Off him now, all 10. Go for.
Withers. Dobson fires the pass to Whelan. Whelan, no, unable to break free of the tackle, but the referee says play on as Whelan gets the pass away to Dobson, and Dobson brings it back into the middle of the field. That's the 5th tackle.
Back, lads. Go, Tony. Go.
Craig Hall stabs the kick in, but it's comfortably dealt with.
No, not the best kick from Hull KR. It was a real shame, and that offload that put them into that position, I think you'll see a little bit more of that from the Robins. They've nothing to lose. They need to get the scoreboard ticking over. They can't sit and defend. They can't play composed or conservatively. They need to throw some caution to the wind.
Lomax flattened. They've shown character at points this season of Hull Kingston Rovers. They need to show character to survive in the playoffs now. Never more so than when they were feeling hard done by after that Etihad Stadium controversy against Hull FC when they were robbed there. They then strung together a run of 5 consecutive wins.
That's a great kick. It's a very good kick, Bill. Left footed from John Wilkin. You know, he's got a great kicking game. He's been asked to play in the halves for most of this season. And he has produced the kicks where they're necessary. That was a great one, and followed up by a great chase from St Helens.
That controversy at the Etihad was when Hull FC snatched the win with a non-try. And Hull Kingston Rovers felt very hard done by about that. They came back well, though, from that, but they've got some work to do here. They've beaten some of the big guns, though, this season of Hull KR. They've won in Catalan. Well, in fact, in Toulouse it was. That was a memorable win. 22-21, that one.
And they've got a couple of former players in the crowd. Blake Green, Scott Taylor, now at the Wigan Warriors, of course. Played on Thursday night in that Huddersfield fixture. They've come to support their former teammates.
It's a bit of a Wigan contingent here, and Matty Smith down there as well. Sitting just behind the Hull Kingston Rovers bench, they are. But they'll be looking at this St Helens side and thinking, well, they're looking good. They've been in a record 9 grand finals there. There's the Wigan contingent. Just spying out the opposition. They've got to win 3 knockout ties to make it 10 of Saints. Well, they're on the way to winning the first here.
And do you know what? Defence like that wins you grand finals. You can't just turn up thinking that you're going to do the pretty stuff with the ball. You've got to really dig in. You've got to belt the opposition. You've got to slow the ruck down. And you've got to make it as messy as you can. And Hull KR just haven't done that in this game, especially in that opening first half when St Helens went on to score 34 points.
You look at the playoff pedigree of these two sides, though. I mean, this is Saints' 39th playoff game. They've won 4 grand finals. This is only Hull Kingston Rovers' 6th playoff game.
But you know what as well, Bill, if you look at the St Helens side, that is not those players who were involved in those grand finals.
Crossfield kick, Swift takes it well. He was squinting up into the sunshine there. He had Rovers players bearing down on him, but the impressive Adam Swift took that ball well.
They're difficult catches to make them. Brian, as a former winger, what did you do? Just shut your eyes and hope for the best?
I'll tell you, he'd run away from him shouting yours.
I'd have been happy to get within 10 feet of that. He's done well. What he does, Barry, after he catches it, is the yards he makes afterwards. It's difficult to put down. He gets himself a quick play of the ball, and that helps the person who makes a run after him, which is Johnny Lomax on that occasion.
Melly, Roby. Good offloading from Saints there, and it's Swift again taking the tackle. It's Josh Jones, Paul Wellens.
Well, Lincoln with his line speed was good then.
5th tackle, and they've done well on this set of 6. Have the Robins to pin Saints down, but then Jordan Turner hoofs the kick downfield, and Hodgson retrieves it. It's a good chase from Saints.
Yeah, fabulous chase. They're really getting into, again, that arm wrestle. It seems like they have periods where they just think, we'll get to the kick, produce that white wall with a red V, and give the Robins players nowhere to go.
Chris Wellham now. Struggle for fitness at times this year. Chris Wellham has only been able to make 13 appearances, and he's another valuable player for this Hull KR side.
Gleason's the other centre. He's not been available for periods of time as well.
Well, Ryan O'Hara hasn't played for Hull KR this season. He's sitting in the stand as well, O'Hara. Jordan Cox, in actual fact, credits Ryan O'Hara with a lot of work. And there's a penalty to Hull KR. Kick went in, player was taken out. Richard Silverwood had a good view of it.
Well, they seem to be building a bit of pressure now. Here, Hull KR, Michael Dobson at the line. You can see the little nudge from Paul Wellens. There's no problem with this penalty. He takes Josh Hodgson out, who's trying to latch on to the end of this kick to score a try.
George Griffin. with the first tilt at the Saints defence. Now Withers across the field. Oof, Graham Hall though was going down on his knees when he took the tackle. It looked awkward. Here's Withers now. Withers, that's big defence from Francis Melly. Saints on their own try line. Just, or in the case of 1 or 2, not. It's just a loose pass, and it's Hall who picks it up, looking for a gap in this Saints line, unable to find one. That's 4 tackles gone. They're still 10 metres out. They've hardly made any forward progress since that penalty. Dobson, the ball goes to ground.
Well, Michael Dobson pointed at the player he wanted to run at, and Adam Walker was outside. There's a knock on here. I wasn't sure whether a Saints defender had got a hand to it.
I thought it looked like that for a moment.
Yeah. Might have a look from this angle. Nah, that's just a knock on.
I want to ask you about Adam Walker. You two, you've played in teams that have had good front rowers in them and got a chance to see how it should be done. What's your thoughts on him as a player?
My honest opinion, I think, has been one of the standout prop forwards in the competition. See him play, make so many yards. Defensively, he's very good, but going forward, exceptional.
I agree. I think he's got a good mix of bravery, courage, intelligence. He turns up. Jamie Peacock has been one of the best players in the competition this year, and his courage and bravery is what stands him out from the rest of his peers.
Agree with you. They'll need to hold on to Adam Walker. He's one to build on the future.
Only 21 years of age, former Huddersfield Giants. And it's Saints now with their lead very comfortably in the bag, but the ball not so. That one goes to ground. First knock on was by Saints. Surely head and feet to Hull Kingston Rovers.
And the reason I was talking about the attitude of the Saints players, when you are in front, it's not quite the same desperation to either play or play with a freedom that will put you into a position. I don't know whether Saints could be their own worst enemy.
The key, Barry, is to stick to what you're doing. And you can grind them down again, even if it takes you 15, 20 minutes in the second half. You'll have an ability to post points in the last 20 minutes.
So Hull Kingston Rovers enjoying a good spell of possession here in the second half at Langtree Park, but they're behind on the scoreboard, 34-4. They've had the better of this second half so far, really. Oh, and then the ball. Adam Walker, we've jinxed him now. The pass maybe didn't do him any favours.
The ball his shoulder.
The ball was too hard.
Yeah.
The ball was too hard. They needed that as a softer ball at the line. Pick out somebody you want to run at and just get over the top of them. They've had good field position, good possession, yet they've just not been able to convert them into points. He takes that, could be a try.
Was it not destined for him?
I don't think it was for him. It was going to cave his chest in if it was for him.
So Rovers squandering a good opportunity there. Salvaging some pride in this second half, though, in front of a big army of Rovers supporters, as Lou McCarthy Scarsbrook drives the ball in and very nearly does go over the top of Dobson. Roby picks up the loose ball. He's looking for some support. He's got it. He's got it from Ohio. And Lance Ohio will go in under the sticks for another St Helens try. His 5th of the season. And Hull Kingston Rovers, having had the better really of the start of this second half, are caught by another Saints breakaway try. Fast, decisive, incisive, and very fruitful.
Well, they're just creating space by running really hard. They run onto that ball, the offload goes to the floor. A couple of the Hull KR players not willing to jump onto that ball. The one person who picks it up has got a speed to burn in James Roby. And when he goes through, he just is so composed. He's waiting for his teammates to push up with him because he knows sooner or later somebody's going to turn up.
And Tez Bryan talked about it in the first half. Michael Dobson's a crucial player for Hull KR. You want to take some energy out of his tank. If you want to make him less effective when he has the ball, then make him do some defending. But unfortunately, it was little man on big man, and LMS just left him on the floor, giving the big see you later in the chest. Great charge from the big man.
Jordan Turner's had a superb season for St Helens. He was the player of the year, not surprisingly. They called it the Turner Prize, and Jordan Turner posts another 2 points for St Helens, who lead by 40 points to 4 here now against a floundering Hull Kingston Rovers side. And Lancer Higher grand final with the New Zealand Warriors against Manly in 2011. Well, he was on the spot there.
There you take the chances, you run over the top of somebody and flinging the ball back, assuming that one of your teammates will be Johnny on the spot. James Roby wasn't that a case. Well, it wasn't that case, and Lancer Higher gets himself a try underneath the post. St Helens now can kick on in this game. I think the Hull Kingston Rovers resistance, whatever resistance we saw, will disappear. 18 minutes, well, 22 now for St Helens to really show us they're a team to contend with in these playoffs.
Soliola, one of the first half try scorers for St Helens. This is a very different mood in the Saints camp, isn't it? When you think back to the mid-season slump, and Chairman Eamon McManus was having to issue a rallying call to the club, and there were question marks, but Rovers have got the ball back.
Well, the Saints, fans, spectators, passionate people that they are, they demand success. And I don't think it was through lack of effort that those Saints victories were few and far between. But that man who comes up with the error, James Roby, with him on the pitch, they're a much different side.
June, when they suffered 7 defeats in 8 League and Cup games, and then you wouldn't have fancied them as a playoff threat.
Well, that sort of form got Roy Simmons sacked, didn't it, really? So Eamon McManus has showed composure. He must have had a better idea than anybody else outside the club what exactly was going on. He thought Nathan Brown is the man for it, was the man for the job, is the man for the job, and this is the reward.
Well, let's look at the positive for St Helens as well. Look how many youngsters have come through the system this year. Look how many players have been given an opportunity because of injuries, and they're now in the playoffs going through to the next round.
34 players used as Hall gets away on the left-hand side. Ball still alive. Hodgson just short. Wellen. Saints having to defend their own try line. Lovegrove. It's Dobson.
There's nobody there. He's offering that ball. Needs some close support.
Withers kicks across field. Swift under pressure from Brown, and Swift does well. And he was taken in the air as well, says the referee. Swift is down and in pain.
Had to put his body on the line there, Bill. Adam Swift had to jump high. He knew that he had the attention. Was it Alex Brown who was in the frame? Fully exposed with his arms above his head. That can knock the wind out of you, that.
Do you know, this is bravery. Because he's got to go up for the ball. He's got to jump. He knows that Alex Brown is coming forward. He's going to leap higher than him. That's bravery.
And he's one of those youngsters you talked about. Is it 8 players that have received a debut?
It's
this
13.
Year?
13 have made a debut. 34 used by Saints.
Amazing
13
stuff.
debutants.
Yeah, Mike Rush. We both know Mike Rush very well. Very passionate about this club. Heads up the youth development system at St Helens. Now he's the chief executive as well.
He does just about everything, doesn't he, Mike Rush, I think. Yeah.
Drives the bus?
Not sure. I don't think he's got his PSV licence.
So when people were criticising St Helens with all these players that were out, I'm sure that this will stand St Helens in good stead going forward.
Swift is able to recover it. To be fair to Alex Brown, he was contesting that ball initially, and Swift came down with him. And Swift just, I think, had the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, there's no problem. He's every right to go for that ball. That's what you call a contest in the game.
Here is Herhaya. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. Saints fans just warming up for the next round of the meeting with Leeds. Jordan Turner making some chips ahead. The ball is going to come back for Saints for Herhaya. Oh, still alive. Referees wipe the tackle count clean. So another 6 to go for this Saints side. Here is Wilkin, spun to the ground. Beg your pardon, it's Paul Clough. Here is Wilkin. Here is Lomax. Across the field. Here is Melly. Here is Swift. There is a hat-trick. Well, he had the wind knocked out of him at the other end of the field. He's got back on his feet, down the other end, and he's bagged his third of the game as Adam Swift. He is a tough cookie.
It's like a training ground try, that, from the youngster Adam Swift. You can see Makinson, he looks to tip over the top. Solihull gets the ball back, Lanta Hyatt, they just seem to be toying with the opposition, looking to offload the ball at every opportunity. The ball goes from one side of the pitch to the other. It's the width of the first couple of passes that gets the Hull KR defenders interested. And as we say about Johnny Lomax, look how many times that you'll see the Hull KR players rushing forward, trying to get to him, because that's the danger of the man. And when St Helens are playing like this, they're very, very hard to defeat.
And sometimes, Tez, that's the difference. The accuracy and speed of those passes, right on the money, in front of the player that's going to catch him, and that creates the space for Adam Swift to take advantage. Nathan Brown done a tremendous job and had to hold his nerve along with Kieran Cunningham. And I bet they're looking forward to the rest of this playoff series.
Jordan Turner, 6 from 7, looking for his 18th point, or to make it 18 points in the game. With this conversion, it's on the way. He's bagged another 2 points. The player of the year for St Helens, Jordan Turner, adds 2 more points to make it 46-4. Adam Swift with another Saints try. And they look in great shape for the playoffs.
They do, Bill. So little deception in this play. One player runs underneath, and they're able to shovel the ball out, and Hull Kingston Rovers defenders can't get across in time. Sorry for cutting across you, Bill. I was that excited to get in and talk about that play.
Obstruction, I think it was.
Benefit of the doubt. Keep going.
Here's Lanta Hyatt, and a Hyatt little half break. Good job that Rovers got a hold of him.
Don't go early. Go. 2.
LaFranchi now.
3. Move all the way, Graham. Wait.
Leeds, of course,
Go.
beaten
3.
at Warrington.
40.
We'll be having a look at this Saints performance. Well, they knew already ahead of this that Saints, when it comes to the playoffs, with the pedigree they've got in this particular aspect of the season, they're always a threat.
Well, the senior players inspire the youngsters and tell them what it's all about, playing in those big games and the calming influence that they are. I think if Nathan Brown, when he reviews this game, obviously they've scored 46 points, so their attack's been good, but what about the defence and their attitude to kick long and chase really hard?
Go. 3. 3.
Hodgson has the ball. Saints looking forward then to a trip to Leeds on Friday night. In fact, they won at Headingley in the opening Monday night game in the middle of the summer. During that really lean period they were going through, Hodgson has got away down the left, but that's good defence. Good defence from Tommy Makinson. They are doing everything right here. This is putting them in the frame of mind for a big game on Friday at Leeds.
Well, they're desperate to keep this scoreline as low as possible. And they were caught on the edge there. Tommy Makinson and Adam Swift having a sensational game tonight, whether it's in defence or attack. Just look at him, keeps his feet, and at precisely the right point, grabs the hips and waist of Hodgson.
You were talking about mindsets earlier, Barry, and I think St Helens, I'll be right in saying that they'd be happy to stick on 46 points as long as they concede no more. That's the mentality the coach will be asking them to take in, and all the players will be thinking about now. Do not be responsible for allowing Hull Kingston Rovers to get over our line. If we don't score any more points, that's fine, we're going to win this game.
2.
Because they will have some defending to do at Headingley, that's for sure.
Go. Hold on.
Leeds, the champions, not willingly going to be giving up their crown. And Roby, the applause is for James Roby leaving the field. And Nathan Brown obviously thinking, we're going to keep people out of the firing line now. But that's just a stray pass as Roby goes down the sidelines.
Well, it's a run around with Soliola as we see Roby taking a well-earned rest. The rest of the bench happy. It was a run around. There you see the ball's passed up. Because of the attention of the defender, Johnny Lomax needs to throw that pass quickly. And Francis Melly was just slightly in front of it.
You can't do that when you play against Leeds Rhinos. That was a touch sloppy, that. You turn the ball over in your own half. When you get on to the quarters and the semis, you'll end up conceding tries.
It's Dobson now. Josh Hodgson has worked hard to try and get things going for this Hull Kingston Rovers side as Horn is dumped to the ground. Tackled by Sia Soliola. Dobson. Remember Corey Patterson recovering in hospital, having had surgery on a burst appendix. Travis Burns out with a broken arm for Hull Kingston Rovers. Two big players missing for them. Here's Dobson. Dobson stabs a grubber kick in. Oh,
great
superbly
take.
Fielded.
And that was taken with confidence from John Wilkin. Yes, you're right about Patterson, Burns, Gleeson, and a number of absentees for Hull KR, but as you see that kick, and again, took it with confidence.
But handling conditions a lot easier today for Warrington and Leeds, and now for St Helens and Hull Kingston Rovers than they have been the previous two playoff games, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a shame we can't order this weather for the next couple of games, but that's part of the playoffs.
And again, Saints losing possession, and it's the previously spotless Swift guilty that time.
Well, that was a good shot from Konstantin Mika. He comes up, he can see some ribs exposed, and he just puts his shoulder straight in.
Okay, Anthony. Say hold, go. One.
So Hull KR trying to find a way through this Saints defence. They haven't been able to do that since the 3rd minute of the game, when Liam Salter scored the try that put them 4-0 up. Since then, it's been virtually one-way traffic. Led by Adam Swift with his 2nd career hat-trick for Saints. Graham Horn. A player that Rovers have actually got back into action. He's missed the last 6 games, Horn. That ball batted down by Jordan Turner. Be head and feed to Hull Kingston Rovers.
He saw 75 fresh open meters in front of him, Jordan Turner. Got a hand to the ball, couldn't pouch it, couldn't keep hold of it.
Well, Saints have won this game. It's a good test of their defence now, isn't it? Going into the final 10 minutes or so. Can they finish this game after just conceding 1 try and take that confidence into the next round?
Withers across the field. Saints backpedaling at the moment. Here's Mickey Payer. Bang in front of those posts. Withers. Dobson stepping away from the first tackle. Now Wellham, and Wellham straightens things up. Trying to find a way through, Chris Wellham. Saints back on their own try line now. Hodgson going for it. And Hodgson is held by Wellens. Craig Hall. Dobson's trying to scoop it up. Couldn't do so. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw the Saints defenders approaching.
Not the best pass, and Dobson can't scoop it up. They're going to miss that man when he leaves these shores, going back home to his native Australia to play for Newcastle Knights. The left to right pass is more difficult, believe it or not. Even full-time professionals find that pass difficult. It was too low for Dobson.
Not very often Hull Kingston Rovers go through a game without Michael Dobson contributing on the scoreboard, but so far in its 180th appearance in the British game, Dobson yet to trouble the scorer. There he is. Over 1,500 points in his British career, Michael Dobson.
Many of those from the T-bill, but it's his kicking game in broken play that they're going to miss the most. There's not many in the league with a better short kicking game than Michael Dobson. It's recognised by the opposition players that face him. And Hull Kingston Rovers are going to have to try and find a weapon like that from some other player.
Here is Wilkin now. Wilkin ships it on to Johnny Lomax. Lomax, Melly, quick hands from Melly. That was forward. Touch judge, I think, called that one.
Well, my God, they were deep and attacking from deep. They were 20 metres back. Lomax to Melly, who just tries to commit. I think it's Salter, is it? Yeah, that's forward.
It's amazing, the second half performance, isn't it? All the mistakes that they seem to be making, whether it be trying to play, trying to get to the ball to the edge, or just simple mistakes. And again, it's another test of their try line.
Here's Mickey Paya. Another one on the move. Mickey Paya. Is this his farewell appearance? Looking like his farewell appearance. A Hull player next season. Dobson, there he is with the kick, and Hall has come from nowhere to get the try for Hull Kingston Rovers.
Wow.
Canted onto that one. Saints caught flat-footed. Referee Richard Silverwood not satisfied, wants to see where the player was onside and the grounding.
Well, it was a good kick. Dobson to Horn. It looks like he's offside. I wasn't sure whether Joey Hayes.
No, I think he's onside there. He's onside. His left foot is on the white line, so I don't think there's a problem with that. Is there a problem with the grounding?
No,
not at all. That's a try.
Why doesn't Joey Hayes pick it up, Tez? The Saints physio, former wingman himself.
He would have dropped it.
The try surely going to be awarded by video ref Ben Thaler, and great roar from the Rovers supporters that end of the ground, because Craig Hall, playing at full-back today, has got only his second try of the season in Super League. Following up that kick, and we were just talking about him a moment ago, the boot at Dobson.
There you go, this could be the point. But he says goodbye to the Robins fans with. Been a wonderful servant to our game. Played at Wigan, of course, and Catalan.
Dobson is on the scoreboard, and Saints will be annoyed about that, won't they? They really were caught flat-footed there.
They were, Phil. I'm trying to figure out who's meant to be playing fullback. Johnny Lomax is off the field, and that's something that Michael Dobson was able to expose. He's kicking straight back down the middle, and Adam Swift seemed to be the nearest to the ball, but there's no fullback where you'd expect him to be. Craig Hall was able to capitalise on that and roll over and score.
Was it Paul Welland who was fullback? Was he on the right-hand side anticipating the play to go out there?
Is that Phil?
Phil or Bill? I actually thought he called you Phil then.
He's the suave, debonair one from Wigan, I think. So Rovers have got their first points since the 3rd minute of this game. 46-10 the scoreline now. And that's delighted their travelling supporters. Bit of end-of-term party for the Robins fans. Still in the sunshine. They picked the right end of the ground today.
Well, just 5 minutes to go now in Hull KR's season. Can they finish with another try? Send the fans home happy.
There's Craig Sandercock. A lot of planning to do for next season. He's got players moving on.
Someone knocked out. Somebody's out. Is it John Wilkin?
Yeah.
I don't know whether Francis Melly's whacked his own man.
No, he was out cold. He went in for the tackle, and as soon as he goes in here, he goes in. There you see the head clash. It's the head clash from Salter.
Fair shoulder shot from Francis Melly, renowned for that sort and type of challenge. It's hard, Francis Melly. And Wilkin clashes heads. he's clashed heads with Liam Salter.
Yep, there's Liam Salter.
Liam Salter takes this short ball. John Wilkin, as he's done all year, puts his body on the line and gets a clout.
It's the shot from Melly, the big challenge from Melly that knocks him into John Wilkin.
Like a game of billiards.
And Nathan Brown obviously sending down the signal. If there's any doubt, get him out of the firing line. Crossfield kick from Dobson. And it's going to be picked up eventually by Saints. And Lou McCarthy-Scarsbrook at fullback.
Was he sweeping then? What was he doing at the back, Louis?
Thought it's a quiet corner over here.
One of those sleepers.
Props do that, don't they, Brian?
All sleepers, yeah. Putting me to sleep, these two.
Yeah, I will put you to sleep.
Oh dear, Lancer higher.
It's not been the best second half performance from St Helens. Too many mistakes. That again is another simple error from the Saints.
Do you think St Helens might challenge Leeds, Terry, next week?
If they can play with speed around the ruck, if James Roby can do what he was doing in the first half, if they keep hold of the ball and defend like they did in the second half, there will be a challenge.
Can I just ask how you spell St Helens?
S-I-N-T-E-L-L-E-N-S. Yeah.
Two separate words. S-I-N.
Yeah. S-I-N-T. Yeah. E-L-L-E-N-S.
I presume you've asked that question to Brian.
St Helens are defending now on their own 20 at the moment, and Thompson got the ball away. Here he is again. Clock counting down for him. Oh, and Konstantin Mika, it's his birthday today. That was not much of a present that time.
Well, see, Soliola wanted to give him a present, didn't he? I think he just has a little look out the corner of his eye.
And they just gave each other a tap.
Yeah.
Nearly got me, lad. You nearly got me.
You can see he just flies in. And he knew exactly what was going to come about if he catches that ball.
24 today, Konstantin Mika. Not been the happiest of birthdays for him or this whole Kingston Rovers side. Their playoff campaign ending at the first hurdle again. Not quite as painful as the last time in 2011 in Perpignan. But 46-10 is still an emphatic defeat against a Saints side. Okay, I mean, the second half has not been as fluent as coach Nathan Brown would have wanted, but they've got one eye on next Friday in a trip to Leeds. They won there in the summer.
Well, as I said, Bill, the beauty of fifth is you're always playing. Nathan Brown will know that. You're playing a losing side. Leeds well beaten today by an impressive Warrington side. Will host this, in parts anyway, impressive, fast. Look like the Saints of old. Especially with surges like that from, say, Soliola.
Bahia belts the ball downfield. And Craig Hall, scorer of the Hull Kingston Rovers try in this second half, returns it from the 20.
And by the way, won't that be a good match, Saints against Leeds? Seen so many grand finals with those two teams.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a mouth-watering clash, that one on Friday. Huddersfield Hull on Thursday.
Do you know, I'm looking forward to that game as well, because defensively I thought Hull were very, very good against the Giants side that were probably bullied in the middle of the park against from the Wigan forwards. But there'll be a lot of tries scored in that Leeds Saints game.
Here is Dobson then. He'll get a big farewell from these Rovers supporters, that's for sure.
The crowd want it. I wonder whether the players want to see Dobson get over for a farewell try. Or the Saints fans or players won't want him to.
The clock counting down here at Langtree Park. The hoot is working, I can testify to that. And Saints can look forward to a trip to Leeds. Nathan Brown, a smile of satisfaction surely from him because this has been an emphatic St Helens win. The dark days of midsummer long gone. A hat-trick for Adam Swift. Francis Melly on the score sheet as well. Liam Salter there gave Hull Kingston Rovers the dream start. Craig Sandercock's side, though, could not build on that. And Saints have gone on to win emphatically and earn themselves a trip to Leeds on Friday.